Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the like button and check the description box for today's topics. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Drinking a gallon of water a day, so feeling hydrated for this episode, which is good. Had a pretty eventful weekend, a lot of drinking, bro, a lot of blacking out. Not a fan of that, dude. I'm getting too old for this shit, but it happened, so definitely trying to catch up on my hydration. How was your weekend, bro? And as we get closer to we're 3 weeks away now from the wedding?
Yep, about 3 weeks away. So I now realize there's more things we have to finalize. Everyone would ask me and they'd be like, yo, how's planning going? I'm like, oh, we got like 95% of it done, but I failed to mention that 5-10% is a lot of shit. So
is it? What does that consist of though? Like the final payments or final head counts? Like what
final payments. We had to do like some adjustments to the seating arrangements. Still got to finalize the playlist. That honestly won't take too long, but it's still something.
Is there going to be a DJ though, or are you giving them like a playlist to the hey, just play this?
So there'll be a DJ during dinner. There'll be like a saxophonist, and he's gonna kind of do his own thing alongside the DJ. But for dancing and stuff, he's leaning on us because I told him like what kind of music we want to listen to. He's more of like a house, like pop type dude. He's not really a hip hop person, so he's basically saying for us to put together the list, he'll mix and mash and stuff, and
that's cool.
Make it transition properly. But so we have like the freedom with that. I've already been like saving stuff here and there over the past few months, so it's not going to take long to finalize it. It's more so just making sure it's taken care of, and then we gotta like plan the shuttles to and from the airport, and then we gotta plan the transportation for the guests who are leaving the wedding, because I think at that time it's like hard to find Ubers and stuff, so we obviously have to make sure.
Is it?
I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but I don't like if fucking 50 people like try to order an Uber at once. I think we could get crazy. So like if someone wanted to leave,
it's like arranging like a shuttle service from the wedding to like the main hub of like San Miguel.
Yeah, so it'll drop everyone off at their hotels, but it's not even really like a shuttle service. It's like some chick who just knows a bunch of drivers and like they'll be on standby. Not that sounded really sketchy, but it's an actual professional
taxi service. Taxi
service.
Do you know what's funny though? Like, that's really common. Like not third world countries, but like these places, right? That like it's all resorts and stuff. Because I remember, dude, I went to San Juan and we went to like a really fancy hotel, but it was on the other side of town. So it took us like a 45-minute Uber to get there, bro. And the Uber driver was driving sketch the whole way. And he was like, oh, take my number down because you won't get a cab coming back. And I was like, yeah, whatever, dog. Like, you're just saying that shit. Like, I'm not going to risk my life again. Bro, we had dinner, drinks, we were vibing. I'm like, let's go back home and enjoy. I mean, back to the hotel and enjoy. Bro, he was right. There wasn't an Uber or a Lyft in sight. And then to arrange a car at that time for the hotel, because we weren't a guest, was like $200 one way.
What?
Yeah,
damn, not pesos?
No, dude, U.S. dollars. Puerto Rico, so it's U.S. dollars, bro.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it was either that or pay an extra $150 for a room for the night. Like that was literally our only options, bro. I was like, yo, let's just take this L and just pay $200. But yeah, so it's smart that you guys are arranging that, because that'd probably be a mission for everyone and kind of like dampen the mood and shit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too because we had to transition to this venue because we had the whole fiasco with the other place when they changed the price on us. They said we couldn't do the wedding here and there, and that place was, I think, in town basically, so it made it a little more inconvenient for everyone. Same thing with the wedding having to be on Sunday, yada yada. And my wife was browsing Instagram because she follows like the venues and the photographers and shit, and the photographers also do the venue that like did that shady last minute change. And there we saw the wedding setup of the recent wedding party was exactly how we had asked them to do it, but for some reason they said we couldn't, and that was another reason why we decided to choose a different venue. So we're pissed because it's like, you said we couldn't do, have the dinner in this area of the venue,
and you clearly could have.
Yeah, we could have. And it's just like, all right, what the fuck was the reasoning for the cancellation? Granted, this new place is cheaper. It's just a little further out and stuff. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure we'll still have fun.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fine. Yeah, and I think everyone getting there would be fine because I asked my Airbnb like host and he was like, yeah, that's like 10 minutes away, it'd be fine. So it'll be a good time, bro. We're getting close. I already ordered all my shit, COVID tests. I'm officially ordained, so I'm gonna get that into the speech somehow. So it's gonna be good, dude. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it, bro. I think we have a lot of show to run down. But I feel like it only makes sense, bro, because I feel like everything, when I turn on social media, even the news, every podcast is still on Joe Rogan. So last week it was Joe Rogan is spreading misinformation. That what we moved on from, and now it's Joe Rogan's a racist. So as an African-American man, how do you feel about this whole shit right now?
I mean, first and foremost, I hate when that term is used too loosely because
racist?
It takes a racist. And the reason why I say that is it takes away the power of the word in situations where it really should be used. I think when it's used irresponsibly, then when real racism occurs, then it's like the boy who cried wolf. Like no one's going to believe it because everything, is considered a racist. And in this instance, granted, I don't like it when any white person says nigger, like even if it's in the context of talking about a story or just the word itself, because it just leaves too much room for people to abuse that power in using the word. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think in Joe Rogan's case, it was clearly not, there wasn't ill intent behind it. And I feel like this is just another example of outrage culture. The people who already didn't like him are probably the ones speaking out and finding a reason to take him down when he's already getting all this backlash from all directions, because it's so much easier to do that when everyone's knocking you down from different directions. Oh, misinformation, this and that, and then you just throw in racist and all this other stuff until the person's life is essentially ruined for X amount of time.
Yeah. So you feel like, were you okay though with him using it in a sense, like I think he was explaining in what's weird is that he's apologizing a lot. Like that's what throwing me off. But I guess the way whoever edited those videos, those like old episodes from like 10 years ago, like it does look bad out of context. But I was just like surprised, like, yo, why are you apologizing so much, fam? But so that threw me off. But in his apology, he was stating that, like, I guess like instead of just saying the N-word, like that phrase, he just said the word. Like, are you cool with that? Like the idea of that, like if a white guy or whoever, like a non-black person saying, like, instead of just like, they're trying to explain a situation, but instead of saying the N-word, they're saying the actual word.
I mean, am I cool with it? There was an instance where my roommate, my ex-roommate, who I am not very fond of, but basically I had used the word and almost immediately she like repeated what I was talking about, but I got the sense it wasn't like, hey, I need to repeat this word. It was almost like, hey, can I say it because I'm not calling you that or someone else that. It was like she was eager to find a way to use the word without it having ill intent. And I just thought it was really weird. Like I knew just because she said that, it didn't make her a racist or mean she was trying to insult me or black people in any way. But at the same time, I feel like it shouldn't be that difficult to understand that not every black person is going to be comfortable hearing that from you as a white person. Every black person has different trauma. Maybe I don't care. Who knows? Right. This black girl over here, maybe, she was called the nigger her whole life. Or like my mom, for instance, who grew up in the heart of this racist era where, she was literally called a nigger casually. Like, you have to understand.
But in an offensive, like it was
casually in an offensive way.
Was offense. Like it wasn't
like you
just
are subhuman, basically.
Yeah.
And I think people need to understand everyone has different levels of sensitivity. And yes, it is just a word. Yes, it's just, a vocal sound that comes out of your mouth. If you want to get technical, there should be no meaning behind it, right? But words do have meaning. If I call you a bitch, you're not gonna be like, oh, it's just the inflection and the air coming out of his mouth. Like, no, you're gonna be offended because I'm trying to hurt your feelings. And granted, Joe Rogan, I don't think he was trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but I think you have to understand when you're at a certain level, or even in your private life, like certain people are going to react differently, and there's not a single person that can say they don't know the weight of that word. And I think Joe Rogan realized that. And I think he's apologizing a lot, not because he's going to go broke or anything, but because I think he genuinely did reflect on it and was like, oh shit, like I said it that many times, like maybe I shouldn't. And he's desperately trying to like get the public's like trust and respect back, because he just genuinely, I think, cares about his fans and people in general.
Yeah, dude, that's like, I think that's a great point. That's what I lean towards, because like, I mean, this shit like 10, 12 years ago, like Joe Rogan was big, but Joe Rogan wasn't this Joe Rogan, you know, like Joe Rogan of 10 years ago wasn't the Joe Rogan of like 5 years ago when this shit like really took the fuck off. So I think it's just more like, maybe he just said it. I don't think he's like said it in a racist way to insinuate like insults, but I can get like, you're like, yo, we're not probably that big. Like, I'm just saying the word to just explain the context and we'll just move on, right? Mm-hmm. As I don't think he'll ever fucking would do the same exact thing now because he's too big. Dude, he has, at least from like what I see, like a bunch of black friends, bro. Like, I feel like during like the peak of the pandemic, all you just saw was Rogan and Chappelle together. Like, I feel like there's no like blacker person, quote unquote, in like our most obvious pop culture than Dave Chappelle. If he's putting his fucking arm around this guy, like, do you really think like he'd be friends with a fucking racist? Like, I just, like, that's the shit that we're not like, they're never talking about that. It's just like, oh, we found these clips from 10 years, let's mash them up and see. And it's like, all right, bro, but all we've seen the last 5 years, like all his immediate circle, like multiple black people. So like what are they then? Like, are you telling me like they don't count? Like, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's like I feel like this is a real entire point last week. The media just has like a thing against him. Like, he's a guy who's bigger than every historical news outlet and isn't being controlled by anyone. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we don't want that, bro. You know what I mean? I feel like they benefit from having someone to either say, this guy's a piece of shit, let's take him down, or they want someone that works for their network that's getting all of this attention, right? If it's fucking Don Lemon getting all this attention, then Fox would be coming after him, you know? Like, if it was Tucker Carlson, whoever from Fox, and CNN goes after him. But now, like, everyone's going after Rogan because, dude, he's fucking bigger than all of them, you know? And, like, doesn't have a boss to really speak to, and he can say whatever the fuck he wants. And I think it's just, like, media-driven, bro. They're just like, dude, like, we just need to take this guy down because he's getting too big. And you know, dude, if this becomes the norm, then, dude, you fast forward 5-10 years, we don't even have a CNN anymore. We don't have an MSNBC. We don't have a Fox News, because why would it? These podcast platforms are, these guys are getting fucking 15 times the view than a primetime show on CNN. So it's like,
yeah, 100% agree with that. And just to go back to one point you made about like black people or celebrities on his show, I think that one's always like a tricky crutch or like argument to fall back on, only because I guess this concept of like exceptionalism, you could call it, is, you know, a lot of people have a tendency to make exceptions. It's kind of like the story of the white guy who's like, well, I have this one black friend, so I can't be racist. But, you know, then it's that one friend who doesn't happen to fit the stereotypes or whatever. Sure. So he's an exception, but he's also my proof that I'm not racist. I think that's how some people might approach that argument. If they're like, oh, he hangs out with Chappelle or whatever, they're going to be like, oh, well, Chappelle's like a fucking, like one of the most famous comedians of all time. Like, of course he's going to, you know, kick it with that because it's cool and fun. The same way the racist dude is going to damn near sell his home to go be front row and watch LeBron play. But as soon as the game's over, you know, he's calling people nigger in the stand or whatever.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Yeah, I was looking at the point of view is like, I don't know. I see Chappelle as a comedian, obviously, but like he also stands up for so many like the other rights. Like, remember he had that thing for George Floyd, like, right during that. Yeah. So I don't know, bro. It was more so like, I can't see that human being just like making an exception for a racist just because he's a comedian. Like, that's it. Like, I don't know. I feel like I consider Chappelle to be above that. Like, I don't think he would put his. Yeah. I mean, the guy fucking moved and left America because he didn't appreciate the way he was being treated. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I could never see Chappelle like embracing someone who he genuinely thought had like racist tendencies.
Right. Yeah.
Like, no matter how cool he is, like, bro, like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see Chappelle doing that.
Yeah. And to be clear to anyone watching, I'm not implying that Joe Rogan is only hanging out with Chappelle and these black people because they have, you know, their accolades and everything. I think that's just an argument that people might push back on if you were to
for sure, online. For sure. Yeah, dude. I remember that. We've been in those conversations. It's like, yo, you feel good using that word? It's like, dude, my cousin's sister's black. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Right. And I think people just need to realize, again, with that word, everyone has a different reaction to it. So I don't care if your favorite rapper says you can use it, or if, you know, this person, your best friend is black and he says you can. You know, if you really want to, I guess in private, you could use it around him, but don't be surprised if someone calls you out, you get canceled, punched, whatever the case is. You just have to be very careful with certain things. And I think with Joe Rogan, I've watched him enough now to, and I don't know him personally, obviously, but I think my intuition is really good at like assessing whether or not someone is a liar and, you know, genuine. And he seems like one of the most genuine celebrities I've ever watched. And he's too open-minded, in my opinion, to be racist.
I feel like he doesn't give a fuck. So like,
no.
Why would he like give a fuck to even do that? You know what I mean? Like to hate, in a sense, like why would I hate another race? Like why? You know what I mean? Like who the fuck am I to hate another race? Like that's like the impression I get from him.
Right. And I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I'm sure if we were to go back in time and we had a clip or a reel of our entire lives, we probably said some inappropriate jokes about other races or whatever the case is, and didn't even really mean it, and probably would regret saying that and be like, oh shit, like that does.
Bro, I used to use the F word, like the homosexual slur, too often, bro. And I like, now I know for like, bro, I would never use that word in public because it just has like, it feels like dirtier now, you know what I mean? Like, whereas back in the day, it was just like, oh, come on, bro, stop being you know what I mean? Like, it was just like different. So yeah, bro, like, if we keep fucking going back and looking at people's tweets and past videos and whatever, like, dude, you're always gonna find something, bro. Like, I would like to look at the more immediate past, as opposed to let's go back fucking 20 years. Yeah,
definitely agree. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I never thought, I mean, I know this tension around Joe Rogan and his platform has been brewing for some time, but I never thought it would become mainstream to where like academics was posting it on his page.
Yeah, dude, everyone's posting this. Like, dude, like my timeline is just like Rogan, to be honest. Like, that's why I wanted to lead it off with it. But I mean, last episode, you and I were both pretty he's beating this. He's gonna get big. He's gonna be bigger than ever. Do you still feel that way a week later with like another thing now that they're coming for him for?
Do I think Joe Rogan's gonna be bigger?
Right. I mean, so last week, our point was like, we're fairly confident. Like if there's Rogan stock, I'm buying it. After this week of like another controversy, do you still stand by that?
I would say so, because I feel like the fans who made him big in the first place or kept him going, I think they were well aware of those clips. I had seen them before. I'm pretty sure I even saw him say nigger in context, like to whatever story you're speaking of, on one of his episodes, like while I was on YouTube. It wasn't like a compilation or anything. And I remember I kind of like, it was like, shocking in a way, not because I was offended, but I'm like, I'm just not used to hearing nigger. I hear nigga all day in music, but not nigger. Even from like black people speaking, like I never hear the ER very often. So it's kind of jarring. But then I'm conflicted too, because I'm like, maybe if I do hear it enough, it'll take away the power. Because I've been on PlayStation and I don't know what it is, but these white teenagers love calling everyone a nigger, even though you can't tell if I'm black or not because I don't speak into the mic. But like the whole time he's just like, oh, you fucking nigger, like you stole my gun, and like, oh, you nigger, like you suck. And I'm just like, after like the 10th nigger, I'm like, all right, it's not even like offensive anymore because you're
yeah. It's like, you fuck, I get it, dude. Yeah, though, but I would agree with that. I still think he's going to be fine. I think the Spotify CEO coming out and saying, you know, hey, we don't stand by those comments, but we're not going to silence him. That's a slippery slope. I think that's a good sign. Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I just have more faith in humanity as a whole. That's like, bro, what are we really mad about here? You know what I mean? Like, are we really, really mad about this? Or are we being told by someone else to be mad about this? And now we're like, oh yeah, this is fucked up. Right. Because I feel like if you look at this at its core and the fact that this is coming off, you know, right after they were trying to come for him for something else, like, bro, come on, man. Like they're looking for shit. Like, I feel like if you always look for something, you're going to find it, bro. And then you're going to spin it for however the fuck you want it to just, you know, feed your narrative.
Right. And I asked like a couple people who were kind of against Rogan, and I was like, all right, so I understand you're upset, but what now? Like, what do you want to happen? Because he apologized a couple of times. Like, where does he go from here? Like, do you want him to have no job ever again? Like, what's the solution to this? And he didn't have an answer, the person I asked. And then I think for me, I just really want white people to understand, hey, like, I 100% don't think Joe Rogan should be canceled at all, because he wasn't calling anyone the N-word. But at the same time, just understand that word holds weight and different people are going to react differently. You could say, you know, the First Amendment, free speech, you know, why does Kanye get to say it in his songs? You could come up with all these arguments, but at the end of the day, the world isn't fair, and there's just certain unwritten rules that we kind of have to abide by. And you're welcome to break them. Just understand the consequences are going to still exist, regardless of if you like it or not.
Yeah. And then I would say, to like that person you asked that question to, it's like, dude, exactly. Like, yo, once they apologize and they show remorse and then agree to never do whatever act offended you in the first place ever again, like, then, dude, let them go about their fucking job. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, what are we so mad about, bro? Like, right. Like, oh, this guy used a racial slur, or this guy used a homophobic slur. All right, I won't do it again. What else do you want from me, bro? Like, it'd be one thing, like, I'm only saying like dismissively because it's words, right? And again, you, like, the person receiving the word really is the one that puts the emphasis on it or not. But as long as like a violent act, or like this guy is, you know, donating to like racist hate groups that actually go and do evil things. Like, if it's none of that, bro, he apologized, he'll never do it again, we'll move the fuck on. Like, I don't get like this whole like get him out of here. It's like, bro, why? Right. Like, why?
Yeah. And the last thing I want is for like the actual people who kind of skew a little more racist, who probably love using the N-word in private. And I'm gonna say N-word because I don't want this shit. Well, I cuss, but I don't want this to get like demonetized or bumped out of the algorithm or something. But I hope the white people who like skew more right wing, you know, maybe have more biases against black people or whatever. I hope they don't take this as, oh, you're being sensitive. Now I get to like use the word more. Like it validates whatever flawed logic they have around like black people and the use of the word or whatever. I hope there's just more of a mutual understanding of like, yes, he shouldn't be canceled. Yes, just avoid using the word publicly, and we can just move forward from this moment instead of blowing it out of proportion and then creating more friction between these groups that already fucking hate each other.
Yeah, I totally agree, bro, because I'm almost afraid at the other extreme they do cancel him, and it just makes like that right group, like you were saying, louder. Like, oh my God, how dare they stop a white man's right to just use a vocabulary of fucking lose their fucking shit. And then we have other, like, we have hate crimes happening or some shit, right? So, I'm with you on most of it. It's just confusing. But yeah, I would just hope society as a whole could just take a step back and like, all right, dude, what are we really mad about here? Like, if he apologized, like, why can't we just move on with our lives? But again, we'll see. But yeah, I'm still buying Rogan stock. It's definitely doing better than Dogecoin right now. So we're definitely in a good spot. All right, man. Probably the other biggest thing, we have like 3 different things to talk about for Kanye, so we can pick and choose which one. Do you think that Donda 2 is really going to drop on February 22nd?
If I could bet on this, if we're talking about Rogan stock, if we're going to the Donda stock, I would short it. I would say, no, it's not coming out on the 22nd. I don't trust his ass. Unfortunately.
Dude, yeah, I don't trust his ass either. But like, then you see like that picture that like there was a listening party last night in LA, and Drake and Travis were out there, and Baby Keem and Future, and I'm just like, man,
damn, you got the inside scoop.
Yeah, like I'm just like I wonder. But I'm with you, dude. I'm saying there's like a 90% chance it doesn't drop. Like, does it?
Yeah.
Cause like, bro, I don't trust him, bro. Like, I think it's to his advantage, bro. Like, I feel like he kept pushing this shit back last time, and this shit fucking did way better than probably the average fan thought it was gonna be.
But I mean, then again, if it's like an extension of something he was already working on, maybe it is possible because
it might be already done.
And maybe he just wanted the first rollout to be flawless and try to like. Oh, I guess he wasn't thinking about the Free Larry Hoover concert at that time because he and Drake.
Oh, yes, he was.
Apparently on good. Yes, this is all orchestrated, I guess.
Yeah.
So if that conspiracy holds true, then shit. Yeah. I mean, 222 is a good number. So
down to 2 on 22222, right? Yeah. I don't know, bro. Yeah, I'm going with like if the over under, like if it's not gonna happen, I'm going with the like 90%. It's not happening. Like I don't trust Kanye to stick to a release date. Like if it was clothing, maybe, but his own music, I feel like it's gonna get pushed back, and they'll have some excuse, or he'll blame someone at some label or something. But like Apple won't accept my version of it, so I didn't drop it, or some nonsense, or I'll drop out like at 2:22, but instead of midnight, it's like at 4 PM, or it's at 2 PM at 2:22 PM or something, some nonsense, bro. Like. Yeah. I don't know. Like I don't trust it.
It is wild. I know when we first kicked off the podcast this year, we were talking about how Kanye is already winning 2022. Like he's the talk of the town. He's still the fucking talk of the town.
Yeah, dude. What are you, 6 weeks in? And like, it's him. But some of that talk obviously just seems kind of negative as well. Like the whole like it's getting like weird with this like hit, like him sharing like him and Kim's fucking like private messages online, and saying that she's rotting his child's mind with letting her be on TikTok. Like, what are your thoughts on all that, bro? Because that shit seems a little messy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always weird if it's one parent who's doing something that the other parent disapproves of, because
especially like divorced parents.
Yeah, because in what sense do you come to common terms over something like that? Because I know it's very easy if you tell your friends or your cousins, like, hey, please don't post pictures of my daughter or son, like, unless I approve it. But with the mother of your child, it's kind of tough to be like, oh, don't do this. And then she can be like, yo, she literally came out of my pussy. Like, you're going to tell me I can't do this little dance with her? Like, I didn't see you carrying her ass around for 9 months.
Right.
But I do also think TikTok is a pretty toxic place and full of child predators. So if I have a child, and especially if it's a daughter, I don't think I'd want her on TikTok doing dances, dressing up in with makeup and all kinds of stuff. Even if it's like cute and innocent and should be, these creeps like will find anything to get off to. Like it could be a fucking innocent bathing suit picture on the beach, and they'll still find a way to make it creepy. So I get where Kanye's coming from, especially a public figure like that.
Yeah. And God forbid, like she says something she shouldn't on a post, or gives an address away, and it's like you're putting your family's life in danger, kind of a thing. Yeah, I'm with that too. Like, I'm not mad at him like not wanting his daughter on TikTok. Like that seems reasonable. Yeah, it's just the airing out of the dirty laundry, fam. Right. Like, yo, like what are you doing? Like, it's like I saw some meme which was phenomenal. It's like, can Kanye and Kim please get us out of this group chat? You know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, like you just put us all in your fucking private. And that's like, yo, why? Like, it's like when like couples are fighting. Like fuck them. Like one of our friends, but they're couples and they're fighting, and they have like these subliminal like back and forth like Insta stories. Like that's awkward enough because we know you're talking about each other, right? Mm-hmm. But this shit's like the most messiest thing, because it's like, yo, no, really, fuck them. Look what he said to me in our one. I'm like, bro, like, I don't know, man. Like that's the shit I just don't care for, bro. And again, it's probably both publicity they both want, because at the end of the day, I feel like that's like their form of currency. But even if it's all like a facade, it still just seems messy. And it's like adding like a messy label to your family dynamic, which I feel like up until 3 months ago, like it was relatively chill. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just seemed like great parents and their kids were having a normal life and blah, blah, blah. And it just feels now like with this and then the baby and the party that he wasn't invited to, like it's just getting messier, bro, which again is sad because if it's a joke or, you know, just to get like clicks, dude, are your kids going to understand that? You know, like really, was it, are you really, they were just messing around? And then if it's a real thing, then dude, imagine how more fucked up that is for your kids, like to see that. So I know it just seems very messy. But the rest I'm cool with, the Julia Fox stuff, the Pete Davidson shit. Like, yo, that's all fun and dandy. But when the kids are involved and all your conversations seem like very hurtful, it's about them. It's like, bro, we can like this doesn't have to be out.
Yeah, that's strange. And even like me growing up, like I know my parents had a lot of arguments and issues, and I can't imagine, it was already annoying to like be around it. I can't imagine if all my friends or like the public,
your
people
friends,
I didn't even
parents, like your school, like you're walking into school and they're like, oh shit, your parents make up yet? It's like, why do you know about this?
Exactly. And what makes this shit extra weird is my wife showed me, apparently there's some Kim K lookalike who Kanye was seen with. And I was just like, what the fuck is really going on? Because I feel like I'm in the Matrix at this point.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the majority of Instagram is Kim K lookalikes, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
but
that's true. It's not saying a whole lot.
Yeah. So, yeah, it just seems messy, dog. But again, yeah, to our point, Kanye still dominating the headlines. If Donda does drop at some point in February, it's going to fucking dominate again. He's also dropping that Netflix documentary very soon. I think he's actually gonna have like a sneak preview this Thursday. So yeah, these motherfuckers just
What is it? Yeah, Genius.
Genius. Yeah, it's like one of the lyrics, one of the song titles on Donda too. But yeah, dude, shout out to him. Hopefully this shit doesn't get too much messier. But yeah, again, I just more so about even though I don't have kids, bro. Like again, I can remember being a child. Like to your point, like. It's awkward enough when you see your parents don't get along. Like you don't have to deal with that, and also the rest of the world kind of also knows.
Yeah, it's super embarrassing. Like publicity stunt or not, I just don't. I understand why he would do this or they would do this, but regardless of whether or not it's for some greater benefit to the family's business or record sales or whatever, it just seems weird that they would sacrifice like privacy and their child's well-being for like being in the tabloids
for like 100,000 likes. It's like, all right, bro, well done. Like who gives a fuck? But one thing I did want to talk about on the rundown, your thoughts on the Pusha T Diet Coke track.
I thought it was dope, no pun intended. I mean, every fucking song that he releases is about Coke. And I saw Just Adam post this too, because he's like, are we tired of Pusha T's Coca-Cola raps? And
I said yes.
Yeah, I think it's dope, but like at a certain point, I'm like, all right, you're not doing this anymore. So, and I can't relate because I don't sell Coke. So I'm like, how much more can I get from this? Like it sounded, the beat was hot.
The beat was fire. That's my favorite part. The beat. Production kept me listening till the end. Mm-hmm. The lyrics, I'm just like, it's not bad, but it's like your point, like there's no nuance, bro. Like, cause like he raps like he's legit still on the corner or like sending shit to like wherever to like get it pure or whatever. And it's like, you're fucking not, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, whereas like Jay-Z, when he used to talk about this shit, it was almost like comparing like the rap game to like
or there'd be like an analogy. Yeah. Like,
yo, comparing to like him owning a sports franchise, like you're like, oh, that's clever as fuck. Like, all right, I get that, but like, bro, like I think like Drake said in the Tidal interview like 2 years ago, like, yo, we don't believe you, bro. Like, and if you are, you're a fucking idiot. Like, why are you doing that? So like, I think, bro, when I realized from the title, I was like, oh, it's gonna be about drugs, but it's gonna because again, I do appreciate Pusha T as an artist, but at some point, bro, like we got on Drake for showing no creativity. my guy, like, fuck, dude, show some creativity with this shit, because it's just the same shit over and over. Like, when that album drops, you already know it's gonna be 13 songs of him just talking about selling coke. It's like, bro.
Yeah, I that's funny you say that, because there's a lot of Pusha T songs I do like, and I'm pretty sure he mentions the word like nose, sniff, like lines. Like there's always a coke reference in every single song, and I'm like, he's undeniably a insane MC, and that's
insane MC, bro. I'm not taking anything away from him, bro. Super talented, but it's like, bro, you don't even try to do anything else. Like,
yeah, I don't know what's next for him, but I'm excited for the album. But I hope there is some variety in the topics, because like even Rick Ross, I know he was on his little coke thing too, but I feel like similar to Jay-Z, he transitioned to talking about lemon pepper wings and fucking, I don't know,
diced pineapples,
boss shit,
like
not just coke shit.
Yeah, and exactly a variety of shit, bro. Yeah, it became like like nuances of explaining how much wealth I have. You know, like even that, like you're talking about money, but there's a way to do it that's not the same fucking shit. Like, I don't know, bro. That's like the annoying part, bro. And again, we like only because like we got on Drake for like not being creative. It's like, bro, this dude's the least creative fucking guy there is when it comes to like the content of his music, because it's the same shit. Yeah. But the beat slapped though, bro. Like you should jump on like a freestyle of that beat, because that beat was like,
I'll have to listen to it.
It's
again.
like the intro with like Fat Joe, and then just the instrumentals afterwards. Like that shit was fire.
Yeah, 100%. I'm curious what his brother No Malice thinks, because he went the whole like Christian route.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's like a pastor or what, but I wonder if in his mind he's like, oh, I know this is a thing of the past, so as long as he's not living his raps, it's just a day job basically. Or if in his mind it's like, oh, you're spreading the word of the devil and like encouraging, you know, the downfall of the black man or perpetuating it or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, that's fair, bro. But I was just talking about this today, like on a different, similar topic. It's like I was like debating about going back to church. Like, so I stopped going to church for a while because like I just didn't trust these pastors. Like they all seem like fucking crooks. Like, yeah, dude, I just don't trust them. You know what I mean? Like they're like posting on being on yachts, and I'm like, bro, like, where in the Bible does it say like you should live way above your means, right? So
was that like when there was that period of in the news cycle when like a lot of different pastors were getting caught like flying around and shit?
Yeah, that. There was also a documentary called The American Gospel on Netflix that actually got took down mysteriously, because I think a lot of like very influential like pastors from around the world like, yo, take that shit down now. And bro, I see it firsthand, bro. Like I've gone to churches even here in South Florida, and like the first row is just the pastor's family, and every child of his is dripped out in fucking $4,000 sneakers at the age of like 12. I'm like, and you live in a fucking mansion, like, bro, like, like, yo, humble yourself, dog. You know what I mean? So to your point about his brother, I mean, his brother might be a fucking fraud too. Like, no, but like, so like, you know, like it is what it is. So I don't know, man. But again, undeniable Pusha T is super fucking talented. But I don't know, for me personally, I wanted more out of the track. Like I didn't add that shit to my fucking library because I was like, bro, I have a version of this song on 4 other or at least 14 other songs of yours. Like, why would I add this one?
My thoughts exactly. I didn't add it. It was kind of like, oh, this is a cool experience for a cool listening experience, but I didn't add it. And I'm like, I didn't learn a single thing new about you.
No,
I was hoping there was an update on your life. You know, maybe the victory over Drake, like some new event has happened. You got a new child. I don't know, something. But
nothing.
Apparently
You just got married.
Selling coke. Yeah.
Not even talking about that shit. Yeah, you just got married like 2 years ago. Your brother married you, who you just made up with, apparently. Like, why are you like you hung out with Pop Smoke a lot before he died? Like, talk about that shit, bro. Like, why? Yeah. Like, you know, that's. But yeah, that just like it makes you wonder. This guy, yes, we call him a skilled MC, but he might just be skilled at one approach. Like he maybe can't tap into those other things, right? Like if we're to keep it 100, we're gonna give women shit for only talking about guzzling dicks. Like, yo, fam, you've been talking about selling drugs for almost 2 fucking decades. Like, switch it the fuck up. So yeah, it's yo. But you know what's funny though? Like in that comment I just made, like or we refuse to add it to our library. Like, we didn't even have to pay for it. We could have easily just hit like the plus sign and just add it. But we're like, nah, I ain't added this shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and the same way, like people who like watch our shit to like watch the full video and like don't subscribe. It's like, bro, just push the button. But like, we didn't do it, so I can't even give them shit because it's like, I get it. Like, if you don't resonate with it, even though it's a free and like easy thing to do, like I get it, bro.
Yeah, because I mean, you're just like, there's so much content out there. Like, why would I need to? I know I'm probably gonna skip it. I don't even know what the mood for that shit would be unless I'm like chopping up lines myself and giving them out to people. Like, I don't even know.
That's a great point. What's the mood for that? Like, me relaxing, smoking hookah, that ain't it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like,
right.
I wanted to bring up the topic about Roddy Ricch. So I'll let you explain a little bit better, and then we can both like go back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, as we know, with Roddy Ricch's last album, it received a ton of poor reception.
I didn't realize
it did.
In the comments?
In the comments, at least. Again, it's really difficult to really assess like how bad something did without just paying attention to the numbers in the comments. But as far as I could tell, it didn't sell what many people expected, and also people just called it mid. Granted, that's kind of like a trollish term that a lot of people just like saying, unless something's like a classic.
And also, again, I think he's a victim of his own success because that first album was just like ridiculous. Yeah,
and that first album was ridiculous, and not only that, it took him like 3 years to come out with a new project. So the anticipation is like CLB is gonna be fucking crazy if you're that good of an artist,
right?
And for that reason, people were expecting more, and I guess he took that on the chin pretty well. And then he releases a snippet, and the same thing. People are calling it mid, saying this is trash. And eventually it gets to him, and he just like does the peace emoji and like deletes his Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, and I think he he may have even said something like, I guess I fell off or something, and like deletes his Instagram. So clearly this feedback and criticism is getting to him as an artist who was wildly successful, and then now he feels like he'll never be able to recreate that spark that he once had with The Box and all these other songs. So it's pretty sad to see that. Like, you can be wildly successful,
literally like on top of the world.
Mm-hmm. And when you feel like it's over or declining, like, I'm sure that has to fuck with your mental like a lot.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Fuck, I didn't know he deleted his soul. Let me just check his social real quick. I didn't fucking realize that, dude.
Yep.
Fuck. So how would you, so just you personally, like if you were in his shoes, how would you, like, do you think you'd be that sensitive?
I mean, just as an artist myself, I definitely know I'm sensitive, but I think it's more so how the feedback is delivered, and how it's phrased. I think we briefly chatted about it with that Mano situation a while back. I'm like, if someone were to say to me, this song is trash, or like do a bunch of thumbs downs, and just kind of have no basis for their argument, then I think it kind of rubs me the wrong way, because it's like, did you even listen to it? Are you just trolling? It's really difficult to navigate whether someone's a hater, a troll, or what. But like, I know there was an instance where I had my song played on one of the No Jumper shows, and like a lot of the comments just seemed like very immature and trollish.
For what song? I think it matters.
It was Ignore Me.
Okay.
And in my head, I'm like, someone in this fucking chat's gotta love it. And like, I saw a couple good nods, but then I saw a bunch of like just crazy, like hateful comments, like, oh, he's trying to sound like Uzi, even though like I could barely name like 5 Uzi songs. Not because Uzi's trash, but I just
that's not your muse or whatever.
Yeah. And then someone's like, yo, this sounds like Bieber trying to rap. I thought that was funny, but I was like, in my head, I'm like, these people don't seem like they're serious listeners of music. They're just like regurgitating shit to be funny, basically. And I feel like that's what the case is here. And if I were to react, I don't know, honestly, I'd probably just block the comments or just not pay attention to it and focus on putting out the music. I know it's hard, because even with this podcast, like, in order to grow or like figure out what works, you kind of have to see what people are saying
and engage a little bit. Yeah.
But at his level, at least in the interim, I don't know if he needs to focus on what people were saying because he's already made it. It's not like if his mixtape is quote unquote mediocre, like he's done for.
Yeah, dude. So like for me, it's almost like I told you, like I personally, we get like, dude, we've had a couple of videos that had like almost 100, a few hundred comments, right? Like 90 plus comments. Like, bro, I don't look at any of them shits. Like, I just know like the topic we discuss. So like, I just know, all right, if we something similar in that vein again, it's going to do well. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he's proven with his music, he knows what is and what isn't his like forte. So I don't get why he would, because again, it's like you can't get too high when everyone's sucking your dick, which was happening 3 years ago when he dropped that album. And then you can't get too low when people are saying you're fucking mid. Because it's like, bro, all right, whatever. Like, maybe this one didn't hit. Just, keep putting shit out. Like, so it's weird when you can see that they're, like, ours are that sensitive, right? Because you got to be even keel about this shit, right? Like, we're going to have Johan on in a month or so. Like, I want to ask him about, like, because there was comments that were wild about him. But, did it affect him? Does he even care? Does he even look at it? Does he engage? Like, because I feel like if it was me, like, I wouldn't. I know that's easy for us to say. Like, we barely have, like, whatever. But I just feel like I wouldn't engage, bro. Like they're tuning in for some reason, either hate or love. It's still a view, right? It's still a listen. So at the end of the day, you're still getting paid, and like it is what it is, right? Like now the numbers drop and no one's listening to your shit. All right, that's different. But if you're just mad that people are listening and then have an opinion, that just makes me feel like, fam, you can't have it both ways. Like, you can't get so happy, but then get also so sad because like it's not exactly how you want it to be.
Yeah. And you're always going to have misses. And that's what I remind myself with some of my songs. Like, not only am I going to have some misses where like people are just like, oh, this song was cool, but it wasn't like anything I would consider like my best out right now. But at the same time, to some people, it's going to be the best shit ever. Like, I'm sure there's fans out there that think this album might be better than his last one.
Facts,
and
dude.
He's not seeing any of those comments, but I think he has to remember, like, the general consensus isn't always like the end all be all. And you can still, like, all it takes is one more fucking hit, and all these losers are going to turn around and call him the GOAT. So
yeah, I think that's probably what it was, right? Like this album didn't have any like worldwide, not worldwide, but like global, like not global, same shit, but like no like hits in the US that like was on the charts for like 10 weeks straight. Remember we were talking about like when that shit first dropped, the box, like it was beating Bieber, bro, and like Bieber had to put out a fucking TikTok on how to like take fucking Roddy Ricch down. So like I get you went from that to no songs charting. So maybe that's a punch to the fucking dick. But dude, I sent you a couple of songs. I enjoyed like 4 or 5 tracks. Like, Roller Coasting on that album is a phenomenal song to me. So I actually like that song better than a lot of songs on his first shit. So I don't know, man. You like if you stand by your body of work, that shit can have 0 comments or 1,000 comments. Like it's really how you fucking feel about it, right? Like we post some fire mini clips. That shit doesn't do anything. I'm like, I thought that shit was so hysterical, So it is what it is. And at least he has millions of dollars in the bank to like, justify that. You know what I mean? People are still buying this shit, So I don't know. It's odd to me when they're that sensitive. But again, dude, mental health is a real thing. So maybe that shit did fucking, like you were talking about earlier with like the Joe Rogan thing in the N word, like maybe that shit did trigger him. And so maybe someone said some shit that he might have already been thinking a little bit and was like, oh fuck, it does suck because of this sound. And it's like, oh damn, like I really do like, so I could probably lead you to a dark hole. So I kind of get that too.
Yeah. And the ironic thing is, he might end up making some of the best music of his life because of this. Just being on top, but unhappy and, feeling like he's public enemy number one. And he might make a track literally about this situation and it'd be a hit. So you never know. But yeah, I think it's important to take criticism with a grain of salt, especially if there's no like substance to it. If it's just someone saying, this video sucks, and there's like no reasoning behind it, no constructive feedback, then I think you really do have to try to find a way to ignore it. And I've had a lot of those comments on some of my videos. It'll just be like, I post a song and someone will be like, nah, like just Nothing else. Just nah. And like, yeah, if you read it, you might get pissed off, but at the same time, it might just be someone who's like, this is all right. They just are having a bad day and want to piss you off. And they're just like, nah.
Yeah, dude. Misery loves company.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I believe that too. All right, man. Before we get into Heat of the Week, I know you're excited. We're all excited. If you're a millennial, you're excited. If you're probably who was before us? Millennials. Before millennials was what? Like
the generation? Yeah. I think so. I always forget the name before baby boomers.
Or after baby boomers.
Yeah.
I think it's Gen Y.
Yeah, Gen Y, I believe.
Yeah, so Gen Y and millennials have to be excited about this year's halftime show. Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, and obviously the most relevant of all those guys right now, even with no album dropping that has dropped in a couple years. Kendrick.
Sorry, it's Gen X.
Is it Gen X? All right, yeah. So Gen X.
Yeah. Yep.
The current generation is Gen Z, though, right?
Gen Z, yeah, that's all the kids. We're Gen Y, which is millennials, and then Gen X is the 45, 55-year-olds.
Got it. And then after Gen Z, we go into artificial intelligence.
Yeah, and the aliens. ends with Z.
Yeah, this is just a wrap, bro.
Yeah.
All right, I feel like that seems like the most fire lineup that we've had in a long time.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, dude, I enjoyed the weekend last year, though. That was fire to me. Yeah. But yeah, it's in LA. That's dope too. I mean, yeah, it's in LA. So that's a big deal. So like your thoughts on how it's going to be. Do you think it's going to live up to the hype? Because the hype is real right now. So your thoughts on that?
I think it'll live up to the hype, or at least for me, like it's the most excited I've been about a halftime show. So I feel like with that star-studded lineup, and I think we saw Snoop perform at which fight was it?
Oh, the Mike Tyson one.
Yeah, like he fucking
the one that
killed
Jake Paul knocked out Nate Robinson. That one.
That was one of the most like impressive performances I ever seen. Like that was flawless. So I feel like if they're able to replicate that,
and they're only playing bangers. They're not going through their B-side or whatever. Like it's
I don't want any of that like new school shit that like no one really cares about. Like I want Eminem to do like real Slim Shady, like all that stuff. I hope that goes down. Yeah. What about Kendrick though? What songs do you want Kendrick to play? Kendrick, I feel like he'll definitely do "Don't Kill My Vibe." Money Trees would be dope. And damn, what else? I think he has to play "Be Alright." Yeah, he'll definitely do that one. That one's a feel good song. Do you think they only have like 25 minutes, so like there's like 7 of them, bro. So it's not going to be like it's not going to be like, all right, what do we got next? It's just like like little like snippets of like every song. Right. And maybe even a new one because he's been gone for so damn long. So we might be surprised. Yeah, I think Drake's going to play obviously California Love. Next episode, I don't know what the fuck Mary J. Blige is going to play though. She's going to do what's that upbeat one? No Drama. Did he produce that? I think he produced it. Yeah, that's why I was thinking that. Yeah, maybe that, bro, because she hasn't had a hit in fucking years too. Yeah. But everyone knows no more drama though. I gotta hear it, bro. That shit's like so old that I can't even remember off the top of my head. Oh no, that's the wrong one. That one's like a slow jam. Sorry. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we'll figure it out. I mean, I'm gonna hear it on the stage. I'm like, oh, that's the one. But yeah, I'm excited for it, bro. I don't know, man. This is not like it's because I'm not from LA, so like it's just like whatever to me. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like at the end of the day, like dude, like Dre and Snoop and Mary like 50 plus. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not like I don't know. But again, if it was in New York and it was Jay-Z, I would be losing my fucking mind right now. So like I get it. Like if you're from that era and like you grew up and that's all you listen to, like I get why it's a big deal. But I don't know, like I'm personally not like, yo, stop everything, halftime show, no one say a fucking word. Like I'm just like, I'd probably be like eating and still like kind of watching it, but not like fully tuned in. Right. And so me, Kendrick comes on. Like I am. Focused. Oh, everyone's gonna, because that motherfucker is like a unicorn at this point. Exactly, bro. Yeah. But I'm extra excited too because normally during the Super Bowl, like I don't really have. I'm indifferent on who wins. I'm not even a Rams fan necessarily, but like the fact that they're an LA team, like it gives me something to kind of root for real now.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, if the Giants were in it, I'd be fucking hyped as well. So, yeah, we'll give a review, though. We'll watch it. I will dedicate the half an hour to watch that this Sunday. I have a feeling that the Bengals are going to win. Just have a feeling, but we'll see.
No.
We'll talk about it. You feel confident about the Rams? You're just saying that because
they're definitely going to rig the game in our favor if they got Dre and Snoop and Kendrick.
I don't know, bro.
That'd be so sad.
I think it's rigged that you're hosting it in the first place. So I feel like the Bengals are going to take it, but only because like Joe Burrow, the quarterback for the Bengals, is like the coolest motherfucker in the world. So all right, we'll have a review on that. So we'll get into Heat of the Week now. We'll make it a little bit different though. Like I want to talk about some shit that all the music that dropped in this segment of Heat of the Week, and then we'll get into the 2 songs we want to add to the playlist. So dude, I want to talk about the album's called Alien, right? And the artist is, what's the guy's fucking name? Beam? Is it just Beam?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, Beam. So, dude, you've been sending songs about him to me. I've heard him on a bunch of features. He's a big deal here in Miami because like a lot of his friends are DJs down here, and he links up with like a lot of people who are important. So I was actually hyped as fuck to listen to this album, bro. And to use the word that you used a couple of times to describe Roddy, what the comms were saying, bro, this album was mid as fuck. Like, as fuck, dude. So I want to hear your thoughts on it, bro, because I wasn't even that hyped for it as you were. And I was like, how many tracks is this shit, bro? This shit is 19 tracks, an hour long, and by like track 11, I'm like, bro, how many more songs is this shit, bro? Like, fuck. So I just want to hear your take on it.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I've heard Beam here and there on songs, and I'm like, let me follow this dude because like he clearly is popular and has something going on. So I was hyped for the album too, and I saw snippets here and there. But like you said, I think by the end of it, I was pretty underwhelmed. My perception of him was like just him on a lot of bangers and like super catchy melodic hooks and everything, and I don't know. I felt like this one just kind of dragged on and wasn't that captivating as I was expecting it to be. Even like the Bieber song, like I wasn't crazy about. And I just thought it was good. It wasn't like a body of work that I feel like I'm ever gonna really go back to, except for maybe a couple songs. Like I love the Ice Cola song, but other than that, I'm just like, I need more. I mean, I think with this album overall, I was pretty underwhelmed. From my perception of his music, from the songs that I did like, they were very like upbeat and like melodic, and the beat selection was crazy. Whereas with this, I just felt like the energy was much lower. It kind of had a more somber, like, I don't know if sad's the right word, but it just didn't have the same vibe that I was expecting. Like, you know, all the songs that were my favorite before this came out, like I couldn't find any matches to that on this album. Maybe he was experimenting with something new, but I just wasn't really crazy about pretty much any song on the album other than a couple, like Ice Cola. I really love that one. Is the one I told you that kind of reminds me of Don Toliver. But outside of that, I was like, I don't know if I'll necessarily return to this album.
Yeah, dude, same. Like I was expecting, because like, yo, on the features that he has done in the past, in the recent past, like they're fucking like he's a standout like verse. Like he like kills the song. So I'm like, yo, it's gonna be a full album of that. Sign me the fuck up. And I'm like, bro, this ain't it, like at all. And like it's not like, again, dude, I hope I'm wrong, but like, you know, sometimes you listen to an album like grows on you over time. Like, dude, not this, bro. I was like, bro, like go back to the drawing board and try again. Cause bro, like again, I would never say it's bad, but bro, like to his standard, I was like, again, I know he only has a short career thus far, but I just expected way more, bro. Like even the Bieber thing, like
the Bieber co-sign and all that.
Yeah, dude, but even like the video they posted, they made that Bieber song sound a different way in that clip. But then you actually put the track on, you're like, oh, this is actually a fucking depressing, slow song as well. Like, yo, where's like the fucking like dance hall excitement vibe, bro? Like, why are you sad for 19 songs? You live in Miami, bro. Like, what's so bad about it? Like, so yeah, that really threw me off, bro.
Right, especially him being like I don't know if he's was born in Jamaica. He's at the very least Jamaican American, and I just was expecting that kind of like energy, and it definitely was on a couple songs, but it wasn't as captivating, nearly as captivating as all the songs that drew my attention in the first place.
Yeah, I agree, dude. Again, and things like I feel like the only reason why this may sound a little bit harsh is that we just know how talented he is. So it's like we were expecting something completely different based off like the talent he's shown his fans.
Right. Yeah. It has not to say that he like isn't capable of more or this is absolute garbage. It's just more so kind of like the Drake CLB effect I keep alluding to. Like once you've been so impressive for so long, like inevitably you're just going to expect the same level, if not greater. And if it doesn't happen, then you're just disappointed.
Right, but it just sucks that it didn't happen on their debut album, right? Because I feel like the debut one is like you've been waiting your whole moment for this, and it's just like, oh, this is what you gave us. So I don't know if the production was off or I don't know, but it just didn't feel like what I thought it'd be going into it. Like, dude, you made the Don Toliver reference, dude. I was hearing Don Toliver in my head almost on most tracks, but like. Again, a super sad Don Toliver. And I'm just like, bro, like, why are we so sad right now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm at the gym, like, dude, like, hype me the fuck up. But again, not terrible. But again, I think we were both expecting more. I will tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. I really fuck with this dude anytime he drops anything. The 2 Chainz album, Dope Don't Sell Itself, bro.
I need to peep that.
Fire, dog. 12
Nori
songs.
said it was a classic, apparently.
Who says a classic?
Nori apparently said it was a classic.
Nori says that shit about it. Nori's like the biggest, the nicest guy in fucking hip hop, bro. But dude, there's a lot of really fun tracks. It's a short album, 33 minutes. I actually enjoy this. He had a song with Young Boy and NBA Young Boy.
Nice.
So that was a banger. He actually has a song with Roddy Ricch. It's actually a really good one. I don't even fuck with Moneybagg Yo, and then he had a song Moneybagg Yo. Dude, again, like this is like, I don't know, bro. I've been a 2 Chainz head for a long fucking time. And like, I don't know, there's something about his flow and his voice that just gets me like amped, bro. And on this, when he's talking shit, like, it's always about money. But again, he says it like in a nuanced way that it's, it's a different approach. And yeah, bro. And also, this is the first album that I think he's actually independent on. So all the money goes to him. So good for him.
Oh, that's impressive. Came a long way from Titty Boy.
Exactly, though, bro. And it's wild that, like, remember he was with that other dude, and like that other dude doesn't even exist anymore. When he was a Player Circle, I think. Or I don't know what name
it's crazy because I remember that one song, Duffel Bag Boy, like biggest
song of the fucking year.
And like I think I was at a bar and they were playing it, and it was just wild to see how 2 Chainz' brand is completely different than what it was at that time.
Yeah, like, and his brand really is like, because he had that show on Vice, which is so perfect. Like his brand was associated with like wealth, like anything wealth is like 2 Chainz, which is like crazy because like you thought like at the beginning of his time with good music, like he was just lucky to be on the label, and then like he just kept fucking elevating his career. So like shout out to him. Yeah.
He definitely, that rebrand is immaculate, and he I don't know, he has this particular air about him. Like he's like he's hood and sophisticated at the same time.
Oh yeah, dude. I think he actually was a psych major in college. So like he's very well spoken. Like I've heard a couple of interviews on Breakfast Club that he's like, he knows his shit. Like there's like a science behind the words he uses in like both off the record and like on tracks.
Yeah, he definitely seems like one of those dudes who they play like dumb in the lyrics, like they'll dumb it down and do like clever puns and stuff, but
like Trinidad James. I feel like that's like that. He made everyone think he was the dumbest motherfucker alive, and he's like, nah, bro, like I got this.
Yeah, 2 Chainz is one of those guys where like, if you don't pay much attention to rap, you'll probably be like, oh, these lyrics are dumb, or this is mumble rap or something. But like if you listen closely, it's actually pretty impressive how he like you said, talks about, money or whatever the case is, and puts it together in a way other rappers don't really do.
Yeah, totally. What other new releases were you excited about that dropped last weekend?
I mean, there wasn't like anything I was anticipating or aware of, but I did like, I sent you that song from Young KO with Gunna called Everything New.
Is that your heat of the week then? That song?
Probably not. I think my heat of the week would be I might have to give it to Beam Ice Cola. Like that song is the one I listened to the most. So I feel like I owe it to him for that. That song was just really, really dope and kind of
that was going.
The sound I was going for with his album. And then also shout out to Coffee, the Jamaican artist. She has a new song called Pull Up. She's an artist I really respect. I mean, she's a female. She doesn't have to do the whole like sexualized thing. She doesn't even really curse at all in her music. And
not really. Yeah, it's a great point.
Like it doesn't sound corny. Like anyone can enjoy it. So I have a couple of tracks from her on the wedding playlist. So
nice.
Shout out to her. I wonder if Drake will ever do something with her because I feel like she's too, like he always works with these Caribbean artists and she's like so big in Jamaica. I imagine that like it would make sense.
Yeah, I think she was the first female reggae artist to win a Grammy as well. So yeah, shout out to her. Dude, the song you did send, I'm gonna just add it to the playlist for the fuck of it. So maybe it'll be my hate of the week. But that young KO song, Everything You with Gunna, was a banger to me. Like banger, bro. Like that was probably the best one track I heard the entire weekend. But another song that I really fucking enjoyed, it was off. I guess maybe it was an album or maybe just a single, but Dre dropped some shit for like GTA. Because I know he's on the new GTA.
Dre?
Dr. Dre?
Oh, Dr. Dre.
Yeah, there's like a new GTA thing called The Contract. But there's a single on that called Diamond Mind featuring, it's Dr. Dre, Nipsey, and Ty Dolla $ign the hook.
Yeah, I heard that. Yep.
Bro, that shit is good. Like, especially when Nipsey and Ty Dolla $ign are singing in Spanish or like rapping in Spanish. Like, what's it? Like, my life is crazy, la vida loca. Like, I was like, or mi vida loca. Like, but the way they say it, like, just sounds like swaggy, bro. Like, so yeah, that's a dope thing. And anytime you get like a new Nipsey song that you've never heard before is always a fucking dope process.
Yeah, that song was fire. And it was a bummer because I was playing it like before the podcast episode, and I was just bummed. I'm like, damn, we really lost Nipsey. And similar to Pop Smoke, like, you know, new music keeps coming out, so you kind of have to remind yourself that they're no longer here. And the same goes for a lot of other people like Mac and stuff. And you're just like, damn, we really lost a shit ton of like goats.
That's
like actual goats. Yeah.
And I feel like these are guys who like, what sucks sometimes that they weren't able to see the accomplishments firsthand, right? Like when all three of them died, they were all like starting to get the accolades, but weren't like the guy. And then just like how this all works out, once they're gone, everyone's like, this is my favorite rapper of all time. How can this happen? And just like, again, not that they're lying, but I believe people when they say that, but it just sucks that they couldn't see, like, you know, like Nipsey was never the number. I mean, again, he died being a Grammy nominated artist for his last project, but you know, those 10 years prior, no one really was fucking with him like that besides on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but I guess all we can do is be happy that they left us with a lot of repeat-worthy music to listen to. Yeah,
and again, pretty extensive catalog, especially for Nipsey and Mac. If you think about it, right? Like those guys have plenty of projects out that we can actually go back and listen to, which is exciting.
Yeah.
But salute to them. We'll add all this up to the heat of the week. My brothers, get out of here. Let the people know what we got going coming up. Ton of fun things happening. And then, where they can peep us.
Yes, sir. So we have a ton of new interviews in the works over the next like month and a half. So super excited about that. We have a lot of different artists of different sounds that we're going to be interviewing. Johan, who we interviewed, we're excited to have him back to chat about his new album after it comes out. So looking forward to that in like mid to late March.
Yep.
And if you're an artist, again, as always, feel free to submit music to us. We obviously have a lot going on and can't always promise getting everyone on, especially in a timely fashion, but do know that we will review it and respond. So we appreciate that if you want and are interested in hopping on. But otherwise, new episode every week. Check us out at audio-theory.com. We got new episodes on all platforms, on the website, as well as merch, the Heat of the Week playlist. So all in one spot. Peep that and please share it with your friends as well.
Absolutely. And then next week, or I don't think we have an interview next week. So our next episode will be our 100th episode. So we got to figure about something to do before we take a break for Mexico as well. But our 100th episode is definitely a big deal. So we'll come with something new and creative for the listeners.
For sure. Down with that.
Awesome, my dude. Well, stay safe. Love you, bro. Again, if you need any help with the planning for the wedding, let me know.
Yes, sir.
But everyone else, peace. Love you, bro.
Peace.